Hi everybody, it's Susie, and today we have Hot Topic Tuesday. Today's hot topic is breastfeeding. If you are planning on breastfeeding or are breastfeeding and having a little bit of trouble, I'm not an expert. I'm not a lactation consultant. All I know is that I've been breastfeeding my 8-month-old for 8 months now, and she's been exclusively breastfeeding, and at 6 months, I introduced her to baby food. Let's get started. Alright, let me talk about my different breastfeeding experience so far. My first son, his name is Russell. He's my only son, actually. I only had 3 weeks experience with him, and let me tell you why. He latched on properly in the hospital, at home. It didn't hurt. I was young. And I'm not saying that it's me personally. When I was young, I would get very frustrated. I was impatient, selfish basically. And so I didn't realize how much patience it would take to breastfeed. I thought you just breastfeed the baby every 2 to 3 hours and it's easy and they'll be full after 20 minutes. That's what I thought. So going into it, I was not very prepared for the reality of breastfeeding. The reality of breastfeeding is that babies need to feed, and it doesn't necessarily mean every 2 to 3 hours like they say every 2 to 3 hours. My son was very demanding in terms of that, which is okay. That's what babies do. I didn't know that. I just thought, okay, he's still hungry, and I fed him and he's still hungry, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and what's wrong with him. He's too hungry. And so I supplemented after, and he was fine. I found myself spending way too much time breastfeeding, and on top of that, I would still have to supplement. So I was so frustrated, and I told my husband I don't want to be frustrated when I'm with my baby. I wanted to enjoy that time with my newborn. I was a first-time mother, and I just wanted to enjoy my time with him. I didn't want to be frustrated or confused. And that is what led to my decision at 3 weeks to just formula feed. I regret that in a way, but in a way I don't regret it because I wasn't frustrated with him after that. I did enjoy my time with him, so I'm not saying that formula feeding is the best, because it's not the best. Breast is best. But if you're gonna be frustrated and you find yourself frustrated, either work on your frustration and find a way to not be. But if you're gonna be, I enjoyed my time with my son, even though he was formula fed. We have a really close bond to this day, and I did give him the first 3 weeks breast milk. So it's not something that I was proud of looking back, because he did get lots of ear infections. He's been in and out of the hospital, and I feel like maybe that could have contributed to it. Moving on to my next baby. Her name is Viviana. Breastfeeding with her was not as smooth. She didn't latch on as well, but I was more patient. So it was again, it goes back to your mindset. It doesn't matter how old you are, it matters your mindset. And, for me, when I was young, my mindset was a selfish one. I did have a C-section with Viviana, and it was just very painful experience with her. My nipples would bleed, it would be cracked because she wasn't latching on properly, and so I did try my best to help her latch on properly. At the hospital, they had me do the cradle hold, right? Cradle hold. But that really did put a lot of pressure on my abdomen. So I would feed her and she wasn't latching on. What you do with that, you use your little pinky, you break the latch that they have on right now, and you wait for them to open their mouth and replace them on there when their mouth is nice and wide. I did have trouble getting her to open her mouth nice and wide, so it was a bit of a struggle. But this really helps. It really does. But I found that taking showers hurt me. Anytime a towel would touch me, it would really hurt and irritate. So, but I was determined to make it work. I didn't want to formula feed. I used a little since she was having trouble latching on and getting milk, she didn't, she had high bilirubin, so jaundice, and she was also having trouble pooing. So we left the hospital and she had lost a lot of weight. The nurse came and she checked her bilirubin, I want to say 2 days in a row, and by the second day she was getting more milk. And I kind of owe it to the little tube. So I use a little tube that they have. I want to say I use a little syringe that you put the milk in it, and then so I would pump before the feeding just a little bit, and then put it in the little syringe, and then hold it here, and then put it on my nipple, and she would latch on, and then she would get that milk. Not only is she telling my body to produce more milk, but she's also getting the milk that she needed to help with the bilirubin. So that was awesome. Later on, she started feeding properly. I would say about a month it took. Like 2 weeks it took her to kind of get a good latch, and me and her to kind of figure it out together. A month it was pretty hard because she was very demanding. Babies are demanding. I can't stress that enough. For me, I don't think that, every 2 to 3 hours. I feel like, you know what, you're on demand. So if they're rooting, give them it. And that's the best way to do it. That's the most successful way that I've learned. With my baby Viviana, I did that. People would say oh, just give her the bottle so you're not tied down. But I figured, you know what, it's only about a month or 2 that they're like that. So I just went ahead and did that. I did formula feed. I didn't exclusively breastfeed. When I would go out in public, I was embarrassed of breastfeeding. So I still wasn't at that point where I felt comfortable. So I would breastfeed in the car, and I would find myself pretty embarrassed if I had to use the cover. And if I went to my friend's house, I did not. I would just formula feed. I only had the manual pumps. I didn't want to waste my time doing that. So I would just formula feed when we went out. But I found myself getting very, very full and having to leave because I was so full. And that's not good. You don't want to feel uncomfortable like that. So, Viviana, I fed her for 5 months. I breastfed her for 5 months. So I was happy about that. I found with Viviana, what they didn't tell me at the hospital, was with a C-section, the best and most relaxing way to feed your baby if you have a C-section, for me personally, was the football hold. So she would be this way, and then she would latch on like that, and that was the best for her. And that's again getting to know your baby and finding out what works for you guys. It takes some time, which is probably why I say breastfeeding is hardest in the first month, and if you survive that, it's a breeze after that. Okay, now with Sarah, I breastfed her all the time. I did not formula feed, and I pumped. Because with her, I invested in a pump. I was I'm not gonna formula feed her like I did with Viviana. Yeah. And she drank out of this one, I think. Yeah, this bottle. So with her, I only did that. And the only reason I formula fed twice was because I tried to use those Medela steam bags, and I burnt my equipment. So the tubes and stuff, they were burnt. I don't know, I didn't do it properly, I guess. With Sarah, I did every single hold you could think of. I just felt like the most comfortable hold with her was the cradle hold. I am now giving her baby food. We introduced baby food at 6 months, and we kind of upped it from there. She's getting baby food about twice a day, and everything else is breast milk. But I nurse her always after I give her the baby food. So let me just go over some products the ones that I find very, very helpful when breastfeeding, okay? So the first is, everybody knows what this is. This is a boppy, in case you didn't know. They come with detachable little things for you to throw in the wash. And they're basically a round pillow. Now, let me go over the pros and cons for me with the boppy. The boppy for me, since I'm pretty short, and I would say like the shortest thing on me is my torso. So let me show you the boppy here. When the baby is on it, I felt like she was just a little bit too high. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Because of my torso. So I felt like the boppy was just like taking up all of this, and the baby was kind of high on me. That's a con of it, because I mean, if you have a short torso, if you have a long torso, I'm sure this would be great. And then also, let me see. It does, like, say, look, I'm sitting back, pushing this back, it has a gap here. So, you know, you have to be like this, but I have a gap here, right there. One more con is, it's a pillow. My first son, I had only the boppy, and it became flat as a pancake, because my mom and my husband would decide to lay on it like that, and it's comfortable. It is comfortable, but I would say only use it for the baby. Don't let people sit on it. Don't let people lay on it. You know, don't sit on it yourself. Don't lay on it yourself, because it will go flat really quickly, and they're kind of expensive to be going flat. So this one, you know, you can tell I didn't let anybody lay on this one. This one I got new for Sarah, and it's still puffy, so that's pretty good. It's portable, it's comfortable, it does not contour to the baby. So the baby's going to be, when she's on it, she's just going to be, her head and her body are going to be on the same level. Now let me tell you why I say that. With my second daughter, I purchased my Breast Friend. Now this one's similar, but you can see that it has a different contour. Now if you can see it from the side, it has a bump here. It's a bump here, and it has a bump right here, and a little dent right here, which is great, because what it does is it allows the baby's head to be further up and her body gently down, and then her hip contours to this. So that's awesome. I really appreciated that. Another great thing about my Breast Friend is it's a different kind of material. I want to say like a foamy, like a pretty, it's very solid material. It's still very cushy, but it's not going to lose its shape, which is great. Like, it's not like a pillow material. It's like very foamy material. That's you can take off the thing, and this is also great because, I mean, you're not going to have little kids playing with the zipper. They can't pull this off. You can do it. It has a key ring, and I have 2 other kids, so it's nice to not have like them unzipping it all the time. Another great thing about this is the pocket. You can just throw your bib, your burp cloth, and your binky. Try to put it in there. Another great thing about it is it has this little clasp. You sit on it like this. Hopefully you can see that. It's lower down. You see, it's not as high up on my torso. And you can kind of move it how you want it because it's not so high up. You can push it down if you want. You can pull it up if you want. This is customizable for you. So if you need it tighter, push it tighter. Or if you have your little baby pooch, it's going to come out farther. And it feels great on your back because it has the back support. The only con that I could think of about this is it's pretty bulky. It's bigger than the boppy. In terms of, well, I don't know. Okay, so you see that it has a lot more space in the middle there. Well, that's another great thing, is it contours to your belly. It's not gonna have, you're not gonna have a big gap in between because you can't tighten it. So it gets pretty small and it gets pretty big. So that's really cool too. I feel like the Boppy, I don't know, it's just for me it's much more portable than this. Now the Boppy is multi-use. The Boppy, you can also sit the baby so that when the baby's a supported sitter, she can sit with the Boppy around her. So that's really great too. Now, personally for nursing, I do like the My Breast Friend, but the Boppy has multi-use. If you have the money, the finances, or you can put both of them on your registry, I would recommend that you do, because I mean they're both very useful. Bottle feeding while breastfeeding. If you're going to pump and store, then I would recommend getting an electric pump, simply because when I used the manual pumps, they work, but they make your hands sore, which is painful, and they don't get as much milk as you can get, especially in the amount of time you're investing. It takes a lot of time. It's just it's not worth it. Even if you think you're gonna pump once or twice, I don't know, I feel like electric pumps, even though they are pricey, or pricier, I'm sure you can get some that are cheaper, but even though they are pricier, they are a great investment if you're going to be breastfeeding. So breastfeeding, pumping, you know, you want to get those date nights in, or even if you have to work. Now, if you're going to pump, then I get storage bags. So let me show you some storage bags here. These are the Lancino ones, and these are the ones that I've used. I've used Gerber, and I have Medela ones. So the Lancino one, it tells you how many ounces. It looks like it goes up to 6 ounces. Okay, what's really cool about this also is that, I mean, you can write the date, and it's not on this. It's not on the part where the milk is. It's on the part here. So if you're going to be using like a marker or a pen, you don't have to worry about like anything getting to the breast milk. I have not tried these out. I only used these ones so far. I really enjoyed the customization of it, that you can say the date that it was used. It goes to 6 ounces, and it has a flat bottom. In my experience, they worked great, and they never leaked for me. They have a double zipper, so those come in this box. And then I just got these because it was buy one get one 40% off or 50% off for Medela products, breast milk product or breastfeeding products. So I got the Medela one, and I'm excited to use it. I have not used it yet. They open up. You don't have to use the little bottle anymore. You open it up. You put your little Easy Connect adapter. You screw that onto your breast shield, and you go ahead and stick that in there. And voila, you just pump right into the bag. Then you undo it and then put it on there. It also has a place for you to write at the top here. It's not as customized, but you can write your own thing, like your date on there, the time that you expressed the milk. Definitely, if you're going to be breastfeeding, get Pump and Save breast milk bags, whichever you prefer. These are claimed to be leak proof and stuff like that. Okay, now, my baby, luckily, she takes the bottles. I mean, what I like about Medela, I don't know, Medela, whatever. They have little bottles, so you're gonna get the little nipples with it. I think with the pump, I'm not sure. But they have the little bottles that you can just directly put the top on. And those ones, my baby took those ones. And also, I don't know if it's because of the shape of it, but I don't know if you've seen the Nuck baby bottles, but those ones have like the little, I'm gonna have to get that too. The Nuck one, which is the one my baby has drank from, and I feel like it's because the Binky that we introduced was that one. So that's what that looks like. This is the one she's drank from. She's also drank from the Medela one. So I don't know. I guess it's all about the baby. I would say, like, if you're gonna do a registry, grab a couple different bottles, and that way you know which one your baby likes. So if you're gonna repurchase one, you know exactly which one they're gonna like if they do take the bottle. So, okay, Russell's playing a game. Okay, so next topic. Yeah, so also I know, like, if you're gonna be pumping and going to work, that you should take the pump with you, because obviously your breasts are still going to get full as if it's time to feed the baby. So even though the baby's getting her food, you should still pump. Now, very, very important thing is the HPA lanolin. Now, this is the kind that I've always used. I haven't tried any other ones. I don't know if they work or what, but yeah, soothes, heals, protects sore nipples, safe for mom and baby. So you can put this on, the baby can suck on it. It just says to apply a pea-sized amount, and I don't know for what reason, it's really hard to take out this one anyways. Okay, so it's gonna look like that. You rub it on you. What I suggest is, do not wait until your nipples are cracked or sore or anything. As soon as you start feeding the baby in the hospital or wherever you choose to give birth, put this on. So as soon as she's done feeding, put it on. This is great to have. Also, just an overview, electric pumps, if you're going to be breastfeeding, I really would say is a must. Because even if you're not planning to pump a lot, but you want to be able to go out, you want your baby to get breast milk every time, and you don't want to have to be spending too much time on that. And I can guarantee you, you will not like a manual pump. They are very hard to use, they are very time consuming, and they're just a pain in the booty. As of yet, I can't report to you of breastfeeding a teething baby, but once she does, I'll keep you posted on that, because yeah, I'm sure that's something that breastfeeding mothers would want to know. Breastfeeding while teething, I still want to know that, because I mean, I haven't gone through it yet. 8 months and she doesn't have a tooth yet, so I'll let you know when she starts getting some teeth how that feels. Talking about the breast pads, my favorite are the Johnsons, and they're very cushiony, and the other ones I feel like they're too thin. I don't like the thin ones personally. I like the very cushiony Johnsons, ones that come in a blue box. I've used Medela, I think I've used the Lancino ones. My favorite there, and I love the Lancino brand, but my favorite nursing pads were the Johnson's ones by far. And of course, you know, that's just to prevent from leaking through. Some of them are just very, they hurt. Like, they'll rub up against you and make you very dry, and but the Johnson ones are so soft and so, like, they're so cushiony, and yeah, they're bulkier, but you don't see them through your, like, clothes, I don't think. You know, in terms of nursing, I went out and bought some nursing shirts for my daughter, and yeah, they're nice. They are pricier though. In the end, honestly, you're just going to be wearing kind of like camisoles. You don't really need, I've had clip-on, like the clip ones, and I honestly didn't even use them. I would just pull, I just did that. And so, like, t-shirts, if I'm wearing t-shirts, I don't really mind. I just hold on, my shirt's up right now. I just pull it up over like that. Okay, so I have an undershirt underneath, and then just pull it up. I mean, V-necks are awesome. And then, of course, I have, let me show you. Okay, so if you're like me, and I mean, you know, it's all a preference. You know, some women prefer just to breastfeed and just do that. You know, if you do, that's fine. Yeah, it's all up to you. I like to use a nursing cover when I'm out. Not sure what brand this is. Udder, it says Udder Covers, I think. Udder Covers. She wants to be fed now. So let me give you a demonstration of how you're not going to see anything. She is older and she's pulling on it and throwing herself and everything. You're not going to see anything that you don't want to see here. So yeah, that's it. And it's awesome because this one, you can look down under. With one of my other covers, it was very hard to like do that because it didn't have this. It was just a cover and I felt like it was just too much work trying to see the baby. I think in my experience, the successful way was don't care if people care about you like this. You know, with my second, I would always go in my room and hide away from my family and go in there. But now I made it a point to, you know, I'm going to breastfeed wherever I need to. I'm not going to be like, feel like a burden if I'm breastfeeding. I'm going to do it here, right here, in front of you, you know, and it's not a big deal. Most people get over it. And it covers. This one's great. Like, there's no, you're not going to see anything. Did you see anything? Yeah, it's really great to have. A great program that I recommend is, I think it's like Learn and Laugh or Laugh and Learn About. It's either Laugh and Learn About or Learn and Laugh About. They have about labor and delivery, which is a great movie to watch before you go into labor. It's so great. It's so informative and funny and just, it's very nice. It's like a group setting, but it's a DVD. So another great program in DVD is Laugh and Learn About or Learn and Laugh About Breastfeeding. She does another one about breastfeeding, and that one helped me tremendously. So, you know, that's actually where I learned the ideal holds for cesarean sections. So those are definitely great DVDs to check out. Those were great for me. Talk to girls who are breastfeeding. So, you know, reach out to people who are breastfeeding. I know they have the La Leche League. Whatever setting you feel comfortable with, reach out to people and, you know, watch DVDs or talk to your friends or go to groups. Those things are really going to help you and motivate you because you see that normal women can fit it into their lifestyle.
This bottle is for the baby and for mama to breastfeed her.